How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, this is a topic that really does sometimes get a little bit iffy between people, and it's something that I feel is really important to discuss and talk about, but at the same time, I know a lot of people are going to be very strongly for it and very strongly against it. So in the comments, just try and chill out a little bit with each other. If you get a little bit hard-headed, I'm probably going to be the same with certain things, but I'm just asking you guys to just chill with each other in the comments. If you disagree, just maybe don't comment on that one and just comment on someone else's one. But anyway, in this video, I wanted to talk about the MTX that was added to RuneScape recently with the EXITLAG, allowing you to get the bonus experience buff from this. So at this point, I'm sure most of you guys have probably seen the video from Protox or the video from my crew, and it's probably some other people have probably talked about it as well, and you've probably heard about it. There's no way you haven't at this point, but basically there's an XP buff that you can get through the EXITLAG, and the way it works is every 5 tiers you get 1% bonus experience for the entirety of the 6 weeks that this EXITLAG is going to be up. So you get 1% per 5 tiers, and once you get to 45, that's obviously going to be 9 tiers. However, once you reach level 50 or tier 50, you get an extra 16%, which is ridiculous considering you're literally just getting to the end, and that's obviously just something to force everyone to get right to the end as fast as possible. But eventually you're going to have a 25% experience buff for 6 weeks. Now, if you are a normal player who's going to grind this out, it's going to take you a couple of weeks probably to get through it, depending how long you sit there and get it done. But either way, the fastest way to get this buff and the most efficient way, which everyone about in the RuneScape is about efficiency, is to buy bonds. Now, as a max player, an endgame player, I really don't care about the experience buff personally, and I'm not going to go out and buy bonds to get the cosmetics out of the EXITLAG because they just don't really interest me that much. I don't think they're anything that special. But a lot of people who aren't maxed, who want bonus experience, or a lot of people who even are maxed and want to go for 200 mils and stuff, if you're maxed and you're going for 200 mils, you've probably got plenty of money. You'll probably buy this through in-game gold for bonds. However, this is targeted at players who need experience, so meaning people who are probably leveling their account, newer players, or people who are new players to mobile who are absolutely fine with MTX. A lot of people are fine with MTX, but the problem with this is that it has that time scale on it. So what's going to happen is people are going to look at this, and yesterday, as soon as this came out, people are going to see what it is and go, the sooner I get this, the more I get out of it. And let me tell you, 25% experience for 6 weeks is insane. That is better than double XP. And like double XP is for 10 days and it's 2 times experience. But if you're going for 6 weeks, that's 42 days, meaning after 40 days, you've had your double XP, but you've also got 2 more days. Now, the 2 more days isn't anything special, but at the same time, guys, you need to realize that they are selling double XP. They're selling a double XP event through the EXITLAG, and that is literally absolutely ridiculous. And the reason that I have a problem with this isn't that, someone else is getting more experience than me, because like I said, I'm not bothered. I really do not care about experience, bonus experience. It's not something that I'm interested in. I will, if I need any skills at all, I'll just slowly do them. I'm not in a rush. I have been maxed for, I don't know, since archaeology came out, I remaxed and that was it. And experience to me really doesn't matter. I'm not going for 120s unless they just happen by themselves, so combat ones usually, and I'm not going for like 200 mils ever. It's just not something that interests me in the slightest. So what's the problem? Why does it bother me so much? What is the big issue? The problem with this is it opens the door for Jagex to realize that people don't actually care. This is absolutely fine to them, and most people are going to just be like, don't bother me. This doesn't affect me, so who actually cares? The problem with that is then Jagex looks at it and goes, I wonder what else we can get away with. And then in a couple of months, they're going to release something that sells you a double experience crystal. And this is basically going to be things like $39.99. And what you're doing is you activate this and you've got 24 hours on it. And for 24 hours while this is activated, it's like a pause timer like your normal double XP. You can activate and deactivate it. It'll give you double XP for those 24 hours. Oh, but in it, that doesn't affect me either. I don't care about experience, and it doesn't affect you either. You said you don't care about experience. Okay, so one, the skillers for that side, the people who have leveled up all this stuff and took the time and want to just get to 200 mils, that's been devaluated as now you can just buy double XP whenever the hell you want. But not only that, they'll add something else after that once that's been accepted as well. Once they realize that, they'll add something that'll bother the PVMers. They'll add something there you can basically say, you want to get ahead at this boss, you want to try your best at this boss, but you don't have the gear. Here, why don't you rent some Ascension crossbows from us, and then you can use them at that boss, and then once they've ran out, maybe you would have had your drop, and maybe you could actually get your own Ascension crossbows afterwards. Or you could even just rent them for the day to test it out, which immediately devaluates the price of like Ascensions and tier 90s and actually putting the time in to get stuff, because some people are just going to be like, a week for $4.99 just to be able to use Ascension crossbows. I might do that. That's fine. That's not too bad. You know, why wouldn't I do that? There's going to be a lot of people, especially mobile players, that I guarantee the reason they're adding stuff like this is because mobile players love MTX. They just do it. And that's not exactly their fault. It's just the way the gaming market is for mobile players. There's just MTX everywhere. And RuneScape's actually, with all its MTX, is actually one of the least MTX mobile games going. If you take any look at any mobile game, you'll be able to see the amount of MTX that is actually available on those. And this is the problem. If we allow Jagex to just literally do whatever the hell they want because it doesn't affect us right at this moment of time, and we just accept it and go, whatever, I'm not fussed, then they will do more. They will add more until they can. Until we get to the point where Treasure Hunter has like nearly best in slot armor on it. Until we get to the point where they are directly selling progress that is not just on Treasure Hunter, which, let's be honest, Treasure Hunter's like value for money is absolutely trash. There's literally no reason that you want to do that unless you just have way too much money. But the value of keys to actual experience gained is just not worth it. Even on a good promotion, it really isn't. But buying the skips in the yak track for bonds and then also actually getting that much experience out of it is absolutely crazily good. Like, it's really good. It's worth it. So there's just a few things about this that I really don't like. It's just the fact that they're using fear of missing out to make sure people get this immediately, to get a big cash grab out all at once, as obviously the sooner you get this, the better, because if you leave it for 3 weeks and then get it, it kind of suddenly becomes absolutely not worth it. They've added it to something that was in the past just used for like cosmetics, a little bit of experience bonus, things that was absolutely fine. If you paid for bonds to skip it, it really didn't do anything different than the people who went out and leveled it themselves, other than save a little bit of time. Whereas now, you're going to get such a big thing out of it. They've added something to it that kind of makes it like you want to buy that. People who weren't interested before want to go and buy that. If I was leveling a new account and I wanted to like be as efficient as possible and make it easier on myself, I'd be tempted to buy it. Now that's just because of how like strong and good that is. 25% bonus experience for 6 weeks. That's insane. So they put something like that in the yak track, and it just bothers me to think about what could be coming in the next one. If this is just left and everyone goes quiet about it and just leaves it and doesn't speak up, then it's just going to happen in the future with more stuff. It's going to get worse. Personally, I don't think me saying anything really will do that much, but if it spreads awareness to you guys can kick up a fuss as well. I think anyone who actually cares about this should kick up a fuss as much as possible. So that's pretty much all I had to say about this sort of stuff specifically. So if you want to click off the video here, then absolutely do so. However, there is some stuff that I wanted to do to the end of this video, and that is going to be go through a post that I put on my community section about this, asking questions about it, and look at some comments. Now, I'm going to show the comments on screen. I am not going to show anyone's username on screen, and I am going to delete this post before this video goes up so that there's no form of toxic people like going back to the community post and then replying on comments that they thought was ridiculous or just didn't agree with. I don't want any of that. So we are going to cover the names up. I'm going to delete the post as soon as it's done, but these comments are going to be there. I'm going to just talk about them because the reason is I know I'm going to get the same comments on this video, and I want to cover those comments without having to actually go out and type and reply to every single one of them, which I will do as much as I can, of course. I always do, but I just want to clear up some points that I have on my side before you guys even comment them. So if you're interested in that and seeing what people think and then what my thoughts on what you guys think is, then stick around because we're going to talk about that now. The first comment is the one that's actually the most common, and I figured I'd just start off with that one, and it is, don't get why people are so mad about it, don't like it, don't use it. Now this is the one that I'm going to get most of in the comments, and you guys are probably going to disagree with me the most on, but it's not how it works. You can say don't like it, don't use it, but it's still there and it's still bad for the game. The reasoning is, I don't care that the experience buff is there, whatever. There's double experience weekends all the time. It doesn't bother me like that. And the whole don't use it, I don't use my double experience weekends. I'm still fine with those because it's free and given to every single person in the game at the same time. The issue with this is it's an individual player buff that you have to actually buy to get the most use out of. If you want to get it eventually by grinding it out, yes, you can do that, but at the same time, it is stronger, it is better if you pay up front with IRL cash, assuming you're not a player that has like a fortune to spend on this, in which case, yes, you will use bonds, but this is not targeted at those people. To be fair, this is targeted at people who will spend money because Jagex want to make money. It's a company, they want to make money. But selling an individual player buff that is actually behind a paywall is absolutely not a good direction for the game to go, because it starts with experience, it starts with a little bit of bonus here and there. They're happy with that. It all goes down okay, everyone goes quiet after a couple of days, and then the next time they start selling gear, they start selling boosts, they start selling potions that are given for an hour that do better than overloads, that are better than everyone else's. They start selling stuff that is going to make your drop chance at bosses better. It all just starts here. The reason that when you say I don't get why people are mad at it is because people see this. They know that this is the beginning. They've seen it in other games that just go a lot faster. I feel like the people who really are like, don't get why people are so mad about it, don't like it, don't use it, the people who just literally play RuneScape and they've not seen what happened in other games. Black Desert Online is an amazing game. If you want, just give that a quick search, but at the same time I can just quickly say they started off saying no pay to win whatsoever. They slowly added little things at a time. People said the exact same thing, don't like it, don't use it, doesn't ruin your experience, and then suddenly boom, the whole game is full on pay to win, probably the worst pay to win game out there, to the point where to get the best in slot gear, which your character can wear at any level, you just get your credit card out, you give it a good old swipe, and then boom, suddenly you're better than most of the players in the game. So when you say don't like it, don't use it, it's not about the fact that like we're not going to use it. If I had the buff given to me, I still wouldn't use it anyway. If it was given free, wouldn't use it because I'm not interested in it. The point is I care about how the game works, and I care about the fact that in the future this is just not going to be good for the game. The next comment says, makes the 200 mil grind a little faster, and absolutely it does. Hell yeah, it does. But it also devaluates that 200 mil grind that you're going for. I'm assuming you're going for the 200 mil grind because it's a nice achievement to have. You've probably done most of the other stuff in the game at this point, or you've done a lot of the stuff in the game, and you wanted another achievement to get. If you got there, and by the time you'd got there, they had added a hell of a lot more stuff where you could just buy double XP 24/7, how would you feel? Would you be like, oh, okay, well that makes my achievement a lot less impressive? Because when people walk around at the moment and they've got 200 mil and everything, people are like, holy hell, you have put a lot of time into this game. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I have that dedication. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the time in. I'm going to get to all 200 mils and it's going to be a big achievement. And then by the time you get there, it just turns out that actually this is just the same as getting to 99 because you can buy experience buffs that stack from Jagex because we didn't care about this thing and it's all stacked up. And then suddenly your 200 mil achievement really doesn't matter. People see it and they go, yeah, they probably bought that experience buff, to be fair. Why wouldn't you? If you're going to go for 200 mil, why wouldn't you buy that? Because hell, you might as well. It saves you a lot of time. We'll make this the last one because there's not much point in going through all of them because a lot of them are just pretty much exactly the same, but it says I could care less either way. People are going to spend money on the game if they don't want to grind out the game. It's like this typical for most every game, and if they buy bonds for it, then it keeps that game alive. Okay, so you've got the argument of saying that if they buy bonds, then it keeps the game alive, which, it helps pay for Jagex, it absolutely does fund them, but Jagex has had the best years they've had in a long time recently. They don't need this extra little cash grab. Of course they're going to want to make more money, but if they do it in a way that we are willing to pay for something that actually makes sense in the game, then that's a completely better way to go for it. I would rather pay for some really good cosmetics, like really good. They put time into it, they put effort into it, and then they're going to sell it, and I'd rather like go on and I'd pay for that than see them start selling like buffs and stuff that take no effort whatsoever because all they do is activate a little 25% XP buff and then they put that behind a paywall. And like I said, when you say I could care less either way, the only issue with this is the fact that if you don't care now, when they add something that you care about, when they add something that ruins your experience personally, because this doesn't bother mine, it doesn't affect my experience. I'm like, in my way at the moment, I really couldn't care less. But I care about the game in the future, and I know that eventually something's going to get added, and I'm going to be like, why? Why have you added that? That is not good. Why have you done that? By which point it's already in the game and it's too late because everybody sort of sat back, relaxed earlier on and just didn't give a crap. Everyone who was making a fuss about it, everyone who was kicking off, everyone who was saying we don't like this Jagex needs to stop, and it wasn't enough people, because if everyone kicked off, if everyone made a fuss about it and Jagex was like, okay, no, we need to not go down that road again, then it would have stopped then and there. But once it gets to something you care about, it's too late. And then when you want to kick up and make a fuss, there's going to be someone else who says, doesn't affect me, don't care, and you're going to be the exact same position as the people who this does actually affect and kind of bothers. So even if it doesn't affect you in any way, it actually makes more sense for you to side with the people who are saying, we don't like this, we really don't like this, because then when they add something that you don't like, you still got those players around to side with you on that one as well, and maybe at that point you can do something, but hell, and you can't really say this isn't a thing. They will listen, because do you remember when they added Virtus to the Shadow Gems? They added Virtus armor to the Shadow Gems on Treasure Hunter. Content creators and players all over Reddit and in-game went absolutely ballistic about this. They did not like it whatsoever, and we haven't seen it since. But they added that to Treasure Hunter, and it shows that they were personally okay with that back in the day. They would be absolutely fine with selling gear and stuff directly to players in the future if they wanted to. And it's not even just that, it's the whole fact that if they add this to Treasure Hunter, people are going to be gambling like crazy hoping they get it. There's a lot to it. It's really not just like, it doesn't affect me, because eventually they're going to add something that will. And I would genuinely hope the people that did are sat there now thinking, this doesn't bother me, I don't care, would side with the people who it does matter to at the moment, because it's your game at the end of the day. It's still your game, it's still our game, and you should just side with people who don't want the game to go in a bad direction. But anyway, guys, this is going to be the end of this one. I really do appreciate you all listening. If you got this far, let me know in the comments. You guys are absolutely awesome. I know this has got rambly, and I know that I've actually gone probably on more of a rant than the other content creators, but it sucks to see this happen. It really does. It sucks to see this happen to the game. It bothers me quite a bit, and it's not just that. It's the fact that I know this has been launched on mobile, and a lot of people seem to not have noticed this bit, but mobile games are so freaking bad, and it seems like they are, it's like kind of edging towards it. I called it a few months back. I said they're going to go full mobile. They are literally they just don't care. It's going to get to the point where they're selling stuff, and it's going to be, it's just not good. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you all listening to the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Channel members, thank you all so much for your extra support. I really do appreciate it. Other than that, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be kind to each other in the comments. Disagreements and stuff is fine, but toxic stuff, like over the top toxic stuff, will just be blocked. So there's just no reason to do it anyway. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.